Good evening, all, and welcome back to the Weekend Hedge. It's Saturday, the 10th of January, 2026. So, Happy New Year, everyone. And for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Sumit. And as always, I will be talking to you about some of the high probability trades that we are trading at the Academy, that I'm trading with my students at the Academy, and of course, the forecast for next week. Right. So looking at the live trading account on nql5.com, the Trade WiseNet account you see here on the screen. Scrolling down, we can see a pretty strong and healthy growth curve. We are averaging around 40% growth per month, which is also very strong, with around 80% profitable trades. So overall, going in the right direction and maintaining discipline and making sure that we stick to our risk management principles, we are growing really well as we get into 2026. So looking at the currency strength chart um, for next week, which is of course forward looking, it's really all about the dollar strength play here. So what we see here on the bar chart that I have on the right side is the US dollar, which has been strong overall in the last month or so. It's shown even more strength in the previous week. So overall, we are looking at dollar longs. Most of the other currencies, in fact, all of the other currencies have been weak in the previous week, but we would be looking at weak currencies that are, in fact, getting weaker or have shown more weakness in the last week. And what we see here is the Japanese yen, which had been weak and it showed even more weakness last week. Similarly, the Canadian dollar did the same. And to some extent, the New Zealand dollar, which would be a lower priority for me. But we would be really looking at these three combinations of these three currencies there. So, in terms of the pairs that I would be looking at trading next week, of course, are the USDJPY to the long side. So, we'd be looking at going long in those. USDCAD to the long side, and would also be looking at New Zealand dollar shorts, though they would be lower on my priority list. In terms of some of the news events to watch out for, I've not listed all of them, but really the ones which can have an impact on our trading. So on Tuesday, we've got the CPI, the month on month, and the year on year for the US. So the US dollar is going to be volatile. Similarly, for Wednesday, we've got the retail sales data coming out for the US. So that's going to make the dollar volatile. There's the GDP in November or the month on month for the UK, which will keep the dollar volatile in the morning. And then there's the manufacturing indices being announced on the 15th. That is on Thursday. So the dollar will be moving around. And then, of course, on Friday, we've got the German CPI, which will keep the euro on the move. So just a few things to watch out for there. Right, so let's start with the currency pairs. First, I've got USD CAD, USD JPY, and the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. So starting with USD CAD, overall, we can see that it has been in an uptrend since the end of December, and it really picked up with the weakness in the Canadian dollar and the strength in the US dollar. So that's on the daily time frame. Now, if I go down to the 4 hourly where we really trade, so this trend, which it has picked up, which we can draw a regression channel there to see how it's going. Overall, it's really changing. You know, the trend has changed. Oh, you can. This black line is the 200-day moving average or the 200 period moving average, and the red one is the 50-day. You can see that they are converging. The trend is definitely moving upwards. So I would really be looking at any kind of pullback that comes in. and I would be looking at buying that into the dollar strength here. So USD CAD buys would really be the norm. Now, in terms of how high can this go, if I just go to the daily time frame. So we do have resistances, a couple of resistance levels. One is this. And we look at a higher resistance, well, that's another resistance level there. So we would really be looking at um, the USDCAD to move into the 1.395 and then further along, moving upwards to the 1.41 or so. So really looking at this pair to gain more strength as we go ahead. So that's the USD CAD. Moving ahead, the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Again, a pair that has been predominantly moving upwards with the interest rate differential. It really picked up from September, and we can draw a regression channel here again to see this move. So we're really looking at buys here. The RSI has been above 50. It's been and it's pointing upwards as well at the moment. It's looking strong, so we would be looking at buys. Moving down to the 4-hourly time frame where we trade. So overall, you can see that it's been respecting the 50-day moving average, which is the red line. So and it's been moving in this channel. So any pullback that we get here towards the 50-day, I would be looking at buying into the dollar strength again. So pretty straightforward. And because we are trading a strong currency against a weak currency, so these are high probability trade setups. Okay, moving to the third one, which is a lower probability trade compared to the other two, but still we're trading a strong currency against a weak one. Overall, we can see that if I just zoom out a little more, that the New Zealand dollar has been weakening against the US dollar. There was some strength which we saw from November to December, but it's again moving downwards. The 50-day moving average is below the 200-day moving average, which again signals that we are looking at shorts here. So if we now go down to the 4-hourly, where we are trading, so we can see that this move is what we are concerned with. It has broken the previous lows from there, or we consider that as a support zone that has been broken. So I would be looking at New Zealand dollar shorts there, and any pullback that I see coming here, I would be really looking at again working towards the dollar strength in going short. If I just go back to the daily to see how this pair has been moving, so you can see that it had been coming down, and there are certain support levels that is one of the support levels, and then there is, of course, the one which it formed in November, December. So I would really be looking at the pair to be moving towards these support levels and making profits there. Right, so that is the currency pairs, and now let's move to the biased pairs. Starting with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has been in this channel for a while now. This is the daily time frame. So if I just zoom out a little, and if I like drawing the Fibonacci sequence on this one as it is a biased pair. So if we look at it, so I've drawn it from this lowest point here, which was in April, to the highest point, which was in October. And what we see here is that it came down to this level. Just make this a bit better. Yeah. So So it came down to the 0.786 level, and it's bounced off it a few times, but it's not been able to clear the 0.618 level. So it's really been stuck in this for the last month or so. And until it breaks this, I really wouldn't be keen on entering a buy. Also, the 50-day moving average is below the 200-day, so it's still bearish for me. I would really be looking at a break above this and for the golden cross to come in before I consider buys. So no trade for me on Bitcoin. US 500. So that's the S&P 500. It's in an uptrend for most of the time, so I would really be looking at pullbacks to the 50-day moving average. As you can see, it's been respecting this. So any pullback to the 50-day moving average, I would be looking at getting into a buy there. Moving down to the 4-hourly and looking at that, it's again been doing that. It's taken a few dips, but again, buy the dip has been the direction on this. So we'll really be looking at buys again. If you're trading on the 4-hourly, once it comes down, look for an entry signal, like a bullish engulfer or one of the other entry mechanisms. And yeah, we'll look at trading this in the upward direction. Gold, a similar story to that of the S&P 500, as this has also been just tearing up, and it's crossed 4,500 now, and it's still looking very, very bullish. So buy the dip again in XAUUSD, moving down to the 4-hourly time frame. Again, it's been respecting the 50-period moving average. I would still be looking at buys. Any pullback towards it, towards the 50-period moving average, I would be looking at buys. So very bullish of both of these pairs. Moving to oil, it's been in this decline since a long time, for more than a year now. It's had a few spike upwards in between, but it's really been looking down. So I would be looking at shorting this as we keep going. It's come back to the 50-day moving average. So I would be looking at an entry there, a bearish engulfer or an evening star, or any of the entry signals there to enter short. Go down to the 4-hourly. It's spiking a little bit more on the 4-hourly time frame, so I would probably stick to the daily here as we see a clearer signal, a clearer pattern, and I would really be looking at more shorts for Brent crude. That brings me to the end of this week's analysis. Now, if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're keen on mastering these techniques, check out the trading courses on the website. There are, of course, one-on-one classroom sessions which I take with my students, and you will practice with me till you're fully confident. If you do have any questions, post them in the comments box below. And for daily trading of Forex pairs, join the free TradeWiseNet community, the link to which is also in the description below. Thanks, and I will see you next week. Cheers.